games 1 to 2. So first and foremost, let's go through the box scores. Shea had in game one, Shea had 38 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, and 0 blocks on 14. And he had 38 points on 14 to 30 shooting from the field. And in game two, he had 34 points on 11 or 21 shooting from the field, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals. So let's talk about it and let's dive deeper into how he improved and how he contributed more to the win in game two. So first and foremost, I want to talk about playmaking. Shea has taken like a leap per se overall throughout his whole career this season in playmaking wise, but within between games 1 and 2, he just take a big jump. As you can see, he had 8 assists as opposed to 3 assists. And yes, we don't want to be box score watchers, but this is one of those instances where the stats lined up with the eye test because he was making crucial reads on each possession. In the third quarter, there was a play where he basically where Aaron Wiggins was on the wing, and I want to say it was Isaiah Joe who was in that left corner while Shay's basically working on the elbow. And he's not in the post yet, but he's basically sizing up his defender. And Isaiah Joe cuts and he looks off Aaron Wiggins' defender and he passes it to Aaron Wiggins on that wing there and he hits a three. And that was a big three to put him up, I want to say 19. So yeah, like it's just moments like that are indicative of him making the right decisions. Then, not to mention, going hand in hand with playmaking, I was more or less focusing on the passing aspect, but in the dribbling aspect of playmaking, he's become more efficient with his dribbles. In game one, he was looking more for a shot, and he had to take a lot more dribbles just because that Pacers defense was swarming, and it will always be swarming. But he took 30 shots for a reason. Yes, he took 30 shots for a reason, as they were up 15 points. But there were a lot of times where he was forcing things, and he wasn't making the right decision. If I remember correctly, last game, Aaron Wiggins only got up 2 shots, and I want to say Isaiah Joe only got up 3 shots. Wow. And this is for game one, obviously, but in game one, Isaiah Joe got up 3 shots. I want to say Aaron Wiggins got up 2 shots, and those guys have always been crucial to OKC's success. And getting those guys going, I mean, it's kind of on the star. I don't want to say on the star, but it's on the offense, but mainly on the star. Because you're generating so much gravity by being the MVP. You have to find an opportune time to get your teammates involved there, because at the end of the day, it's a team sport. But also in the same breath, for game one, they were up 15 points. You can't blame him for continuing to take shots and continuing to try and be a better shooter. I mean, he just has to keep on getting better. Then, like I said, contrast this with game two, where he was just filling out the defense more and taking 5 dribbles. Like there were moments where he was just taking 5 dribbles, driving in, getting 2 feet in the paint, and finding his teammates. And that's exactly what you want your star to do in the NBA Finals. Yes, he's supposed to get up shots, but he's also supposed to make the right play, and it's about balancing those two things. I think Shea found a really good balance, especially in game two. If he keeps on bringing this with him throughout the series, I mean, my Pacers prediction might be wrong. I'll be honest with you. I had Pacers. Like I said, I still will have Pacers in six. But if Shea keeps on making these right reads and the Pacers defense doesn't put pressure on him to mess up and go outside of himself as the MVP, then we might see OKC in five. How I don't think that's gonna happen, but we might see that if Pacers don't turn it around. And I think another thing to note is Shea combined for 72 points in his first two finals games, which is an NBA record, which means he beat out Michael Jordan. Not Michael B. Jordan, the Michael Jordan. Shout out Michael B. Jordan, shout out Sinners. But Michael Jordan, he beat out MJ for that record. And I think we should all take a moment to recognize that we are in the midst of one of the best isolation scorers of this generation. Um, there are gonna be kids who model their game after Shea uh in the next coming years, in 5 to 10 years. Just because his game is so smooth, man. And I really believe that there's been a narrative being pushed about him being a foul baiter, and about him flopping. And I'll say there is some truth to that because yes, he's good at generating fouls, but he also drives through them a lot. I mean, of course he's going to generate fouls. As Kenny said, right? If you have, what is it, 50 drives a game or 30 drives a game and you get fouled on 5, 10 of those, you're going to be looked at as a foul baiter as opposed to the guy who gets fouled on 15 drives a game and gets fouled at the same rate. I mean, it's just basic math. Of course, yes, there have been some egregious moments where Shay's flopped a little bit and he sold the contact, but this is a part of the game. I'm sorry, y'all. This foul, call it foul baiting, call it what you want to do. A big part of being an elite scorer is getting to the free throw line, getting easy buckets. MJ did it, Kobe did it, Braun had to do it. At times, Steph has to do it because Steph has a good whistle. Jimmy Butler does it. Every great player does it. I forgot the most egregious contender. James Harden, arguably the best offensive player we've seen in our lifetimes, has done it. And I find myself getting more and more frustrated by the sect of NBA fandom that chooses not to recognize the great scoring that we have in front of us and just decides to focus on the bad refereeing. Because there are things that are going to be consistent in basketball. That's going to be messes, makes, and referees fucking the game up. That's always going to happen. I'm sorry whether y'all like it or not. Bad calls are a part of the game, and it is up to players to deal with that. And I think we should just take a moment to recognize when we see greatness. Because Shea is a great player, and this is going to continue to be an amazing series. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe, and peace, y'all.